Good day, viewers, listeners, students all over the world. My name is Dr. Bright. I'm here to present one of our lecture series entitled Guidelines for Preparing and Presenting Seminar and Project Research. So, we hope that students are going to get a lot of guidelines, knowledge, hints on how to write their seminar and then present it appropriately. Okay, so the next slide is on the function of a seminar paper. So a seminar paper is the written analysis of a particular topic specified in the seminar. It has to fulfill all requirements for a scientific article. The ideal seminar paper resembles a journal article. Any research paper is a means of communication between the researcher and the academic community. Sometimes it may also address other groups such as policymakers or NGOs, non-governmental organizations. The fundamental goal of all research papers is to contribute to existing body of literature in their field. So the essence of why we do research is to contribute to existing, to contribute to science, contribute knowledge to science, contribute to existing body of literatures, contribution. So a seminar paper is also an excellent opportunity to exercise scientific writing before writing a thesis or a project report or a dissertation. So in some quarters they call it thesis, some quarters they call it project report, some quarters they call it dissertation. So anyone that you see in your own system, please continue in that pattern or order. In order to get the maximum learning effect from this opportunity, we suggest that you contact your supervisor at least 3 times during preparing your paper. The essence is that 1, to fix the topic, 2, or secondly, to develop the structure of the research paper, and then the third one, okay, is with an almost complete version before submitting it for your presentation and scoring. Okay, things to do before starting to write a seminar paper. 1 is to fix a specific topic in accordance with your supervisor. Secondly is to get a first overview of the existing literature. We want to capitally emphasize here that and say that literature review is one of the important parts of your work for a seminar paper. Generally, this is in your own responsibility, but you may get hint from your supervisor. And then to specify the structure in accordance with your supervisor. So you can see all this we have been talking here is supervisor. So you can see that your supervisor is like your academic father or mother, whom if you have a challenge, you can resort to give you guide and direction into your academic destiny. Okay? Then an aspect we want to look at here is this section is structure and element of a seminar paper. 3.1, I will title it General Approach. Any seminar paper has to include 1, an abstract, 2, a list of contents, including page numbers for each content, 3, a list of abbreviations where necessary, depending on your department or faculty or school, 4, in case of many tables, figures, or plates, you now say a list of tables, a list of figures, a list of plates, each of them in separate pages. And at the end of the paper, a list of references. Furthermore, there are at least 3 basic elements in a seminar paper. 1, introduction. 2, the body of what? The research. 3, the discussion of the findings and conclusion. Discussion of the findings or what? And conclusion. Okay? So I want to start with the introduction. Introduction, the first section of the seminar paper is introduction. The introductory section should establish the importance of the topic, define a meaningful research gap, and explain how the present paper you are writing or designing attempt to fill the gap, that is the research gap. The introduction should also explicitly outline the contributions of the paper. And an introduction ends with explaining the organization of the rest of the paper as well as the what? Objective. The key purpose of the introduction is to motivate the readers to read the rest of the paper. So examples of good introduction can be found in good and reputable journal articles. So I want to say here that Introduction usually ends with what? Objective. So you end with the objective of the seminar paper. The next one now is the body of the research. In theory, the purpose of this part is simple. It describes how the research question was answered. In practice, there are many ways to organize this part. However, in seminal papers, the common approach is to write a literature review. So we want to say here that the common aspects or common means or strategies to write a what? A review. Empirical studies are also welcome but not required. For papers focusing on literature review, there are many alternatives for structuring the body parts. The topic and the selected approach largely determine the optimal structure. Please refer to relevant analogous journal articles or other research papers for identifying structures that could work in your case and agreed upon a structure with your supervisor. So agree. So every individual is unique. So identify your own, the one that can work in your case based on challenges or problem around you or community, and then agree that upon a structure with your supervisor. You see, we're taking you back to your supervisor because it's your academic mentor, your academic father or guardian. Okay. Now the next section is discussion of the findings and conclusion. This section discusses the finding and their what? Implication. The author should derive own conclusion based on the body of the research and not only to repeat conclusion in other papers. So usually here, students in time past, they will go through internet and copy people's conclusion instead of making their own, instead of deriving their own conclusion. Please don't go and plagiarize people's work and then make. So try and deduce your own conclusion based on the review you carried out, based on the paper reviews you do. Also, limitation and suggestion for future research can also be discussed. Yes, limitation and suggestion for future research, which you can suggestion like what we can call recommendation, and also be what discussed in this seminar this thing. So guideline for the layout and style of the seminar paper. 4.1. Okay, the structure of the paper should consist of numbered headings, so there should be numbering. The text should be numberings. What I mean by numbering is 1.0, 1.1, 2.0, 2.2, 2.1, 3.0, 3.1, 3.4. Depending on the number of chapters, you're able to structure with the guidance of your supervisor. So the structure should consist of numbered headings. The text should be 12-point font Times New Roman. Text size is 12 points. The text font is what? Times New Roman. 1.5 line spaced with single spaced footnotes. Please use footnotes, not endnotes. Footnotes should be numbered consecutively and should appear on the same page. Pages should be numbered using centered Arabic numeral pagination, while preliminary pages should have a Roman numeral pagination. So pages from introduction down to references and whatever appendices, those ones should have Arabic numeral 1, 2, 3, 4. While the preliminary page should have a Roman numeral IV in that order. The minimum length for a seminal paper is about 20 pages and the maximum is about 50 pages. Okay. All tables, figures, and plates should be numbered consecutively and should have a title. The sources need to be given on or below the table. For table, the sources is on the table, on or below the table or figure or plate. So if you get a table or figure or plate from a research paper, please, it's important you cite the paper, the source where it comes from. Okay. The style also, a few notes on style will involve: 1, always structure your work in advance. There should be an advanced structuring. 2, know what you want to say before trying to write. Don't just write things and you cannot have explanation on in the future. 3, each sentence must follow logically from the one before. Yeah, there should be a logical, there should be a transition, there should be a flow of communication. Okay, and not writing going up and down, rolling in your statement. A well-written text is a chain of ideas. While writing, keep your readers' needs in mind. This means providing a verbal map of your document so that your reader knows what to expect, and placing verbal signposts in your text to explain what is coming next. So keep your reader's need in mind. Okay. So the next one now is that at the end, proofread your work carefully and check your spelling and grammar. There should be a proofreading of your work and grammar. Like we have some software now called Grammarly. They help you and check spelling and grammatic structures and semantics too. Ask a friend or relative to read your proposal or write-up. So you can ask a friend, a classmate, a friend who is an intellectual too, not kind of not any kind of friend though. Someone who have a technical know-how or knows that topic too. So don't use words when you are not absolutely certain of their meaning, and don't use difficult words to impress your reader. Avoid repetition. So choose for British English or American English language. Don't mix them. Some of the examples of differences between the American English and the British English are listed below. For example, for more, consult dictionaries. You can Google this online and then get this. You can see table 1, American and British English. American English. Favor. You can see in the American there is no U. Favorable, there is no U. Analyze. There is Y in America. There is Z in American, but there is S in British. Organize. There is Z in America. There is S. So don't be mixing both. That is what we want to say. This is my own compilation. Don't be mixing both. If you want to use American, you go. If you want to use British, you continue in that pattern. All right. The next section is presentation. So some hint for your presentation. The maximum time for a seminar presentation is 10 or more minutes in order to have enough time for discussion. Check whether you get along with your presentation within those minutes before the day. Give an outline of your presentation in the beginning. It is supporting for the audience if you bring a printout of your presentation. If prepared in PowerPoint, you can print few pages on one A4 paper sheet. So take charge of your time. Time is very, very important. Okay? Take charge of your time. Before the day. Go and make practice and ensure that you can stop within 10 minutes or few minutes after 10. Okay? So, and then get a printout of your this. Get the outline, introduction, these sources, literature review, conclusion, the order of how you want to do your presentation. You can also print it in hard copy if possible. Select a sufficiently large font, not below 26 for Times New Roman. So we said that you are going to use Times New Roman when you are shooting. You can at least, virtually all my viewers can see this. So this is 26 and above. This is 26 point font, text size and above. And I'm using Times New Roman. Someone will ask, sir, why Times New Roman? Times New Roman is the conventionally acceptable text font for presentations. Okay? All right. As a matter of test, but please choose colors and animation judiciously and consistently. Nothing is as unnerving as a slide that looks like a box of M and M's, or a presentation which is animated as a video clip. So employ animation in a goal-oriented and limited fashion. Only write on the slide what you actually refer to in the talk, and to keep the slide isomorphic with your oral presentation. Otherwise, while you are speaking, the audience will be distracted by reading the diverging content on your slide. So please you can use animation. Okay? Animation, like for instance, you are talking about signs and symptoms of a disease, maybe diarrhea. You show where someone is poo-pooing. Maybe you say talk about headache. You talk about headache. You show where someone is demonstrating his head going down. So you understand. So some things are important. Or you're talking about DNA, you show structure of a DNA demonstration. So animations, they are very beautiful. So you can choose colors, but we prefer you be careful about the color you are choosing. But you have to do it judiciously and consistently. Okay, and then be sure that what you are presenting is in line with what you are talking. So I don't be talking, so that what you are talking should not be different from what is on the slide, or else you distract the audience who are listening to you. So putting complex slide only for a few seconds and not referring to their content or mention the essential point is a bad habit that is wide what spread. So the rule is, if you not talk about it, do not put it on the slide. If you not talk about it, do not put it on the slide, because it can implicate you and make you a bad presenter. Sometimes you cannot avoid using slides that are complex and of which you can only address exact. In this case, you should let the audience know that you do not expect them to understand the whole slide. Otherwise, they will try to do so, be distracted, and possibly miss the important material. So where you have a complex slide in one, maybe you have slide like this is one slide. So sometimes I can have maybe 6 slides in one. So that is a complex slide. Any slide that is more than 2 is a complex slide. So in that case now, you should be able to know how to carry audience along by convincing them that they might not need to understand everything there. Okay. By the same token, if you include forward references in the talk, that is, if you mention point that you explain in more detail later or never, then you explicitly have to say so. Otherwise, the audience will ponder what they should understand and what comes later or never. And again, they will be what? Distracted. Okay? So we are going to the next section, hint for searching literatures. There is a great and a reservoir website on these topics. Okay? We don't have time to add much more here. Like we have the HTTP, the link www.unigo18g.dn#29498.html. Okay, so there is great website using that site. The 2 key methods for searching literatures are: find the most relevant and important piece of research on the topic area and track the references used. Conduct literature searches in database, e.g. Google, Ask, google.com, ask.com, devilfinder.com, mama.com, using identifying key terms and adding PDF thereafter. You can see, usually we'll talk about journal article now. You see, if you want to get journal article, most journal articles that are online, they are prepared or saved. They are saved and published in PDF, that is portal document format. So I would advise, with experience, I found out that whenever I add PDF at the end of that topic I'm searching on, either in Google when I'm googling, or asking when I'm googling asking, or googling devilfinder.com or mama.com or whatever, any of them, I find that whenever I put PDF, it gives me link to journal article related to the topic I googled on the website. Okay. In scanning a lot of literatures, it is difficult to keep in mind what the one was about, which one read 2 weeks ago. Therefore, it is often useful to take note on previously read papers and summarizing the most important content, for example, by creating summary tables. Okay? Yeah, so you summarize, you summarize, take note of previous read papers and you summarize. And sometimes what I do here is that I do, when you download a literature of important that is important to you, you save it. Maybe you are doing BSc, you say BSc this, BSc. You can type in key terms in that paper so that it will help you to recall. Maybe after 2 weeks or 1 week, you save it with some key terms so that you will be able to trace which paper it is and which paper it is not. Okay, all right. So the next, so things to do before starting to. So with this now, before we go into the other slide, these things are very, very important, and they guide you in writing seminar. So what we want to say, if you do a good literature search or internet search for literatures, you are going to get good and and relevant articles or journal articles or materials that is going to guide you into your desired topic, and also in line to your the structure of your what paper, also with the guidance or direction of your what your supervisor, which is your academic mentor or father or parents. So we with experiences we find out that a good literature search helps you to develop and get more information on the what on how to gather and write your seminar paper. Okay, your seminar paper. So thank you and God bless you for listening. I hope you have learned today and henceforth how to write your what your seminar. So we urge you to comment, like, subscribe. Okay, comment, like, subscribe on most our videos, so that upcoming videos can be getting our upcoming videos. Okay, so but this section, okay, will help you if you follow the guides here. The guides laid down in this lecture series. You are going to do well. Okay, you are going to do well in your future seminar writing and as well as what presentation. So thank you as we look onto you for our next series, which is how to write and present project reports. Thank you.